Speaking of Silicon Valley a little bit, what do you think about Facebook and Google and those big companies? Should they be broken up? Are they too big, or do they need any enforcement?
So there's two pieces there. One, just looking at the state of the union, if you will. I mentioned earlier that AI is, the biggest thing that's happened in a long time. Well, if you talk to Vladimir Putin, he says whoever dominates AI is going to win. Is going to be a dominant nation. You talk to China and they talk about their 2025 or 2035, whatever they called it, plan that was built around AI. In the United States, we don't have those plans yet. But what we do have is 5 to 10 really, really big tech companies who dominate the research and development in the AI space. If you were to break up any of those companies, Facebook, Google, as examples, Amazon, well, we're going to lose our greatest competitive advantage that we have versus the Chinese and the Russians in a space that we need to dominate. So that's part one. Now, maybe that gets resolved over time if we invest as a country more, but that is a big issue. Part two, in terms of breaking them up, you don't have to use Facebook. You don't have to use Amazon. It's not like there aren't alternatives. You don't have to buy from Netflix, So I don't see them as utilities like the phone, where the only way you could use a phone was to go through AT&T back in the 80s. And even then, all they did was give access. Now, I do think there are privacy issues, but those aren't breakup issues, right? I think the law, like if you look to, say to Facebook, don't ever sell your data to anybody else.
Right.
Think about what's happened. Now Facebook has control of all that data.
Right.
You talk about the law of unintended consequences.
Yeah.
Well, you've made Facebook stronger, not weaker. Right. Now, if anything, there should be a built-in delay, and they should have to publish that data anonymized and make it available to everybody. That's how you solve the problem. And then you also have the other issues of, the content that they present being harmful or misguided, brutal in some cases.
Yeah.
And I think I think for them and for Google and others, that's where you change the copyright laws. Right. Back in the day, there wasn't really the consideration that there would be forward-facing videos and other content that would be protected by the not the whole what is it for the copyrights, safe harbors.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So now there's safe harbors, and then
yeah.
the copyright owner has to send a takedown notice.
Right.
We should go back. A television station is, for example, you guys can't just pull off something offline, online, and just present it here and broadcast it, right?
Yeah.
You've got to get permission, right? You've got to sign a licensing agreement.
Yeah.
That's the way it used to be for digital copyrights, and we should go back to that. So that Facebook just can't say, well, it's none of our business, right? And if somebody has a problem with it, issue a takedown notice, and we'll try to use AI to proactively recognize if there's a shooting environment, something horrible is going on, right? If you flipped it so that the DMCA safe harbors only protected you for inward-facing as opposed to outward-facing videos, then just like Yahoo Finance, just like every TV network, you have to go out and get a license, then it all changes, and you're not going to see that horrific content. You're not going to see, because those people aren't going to sign a license.
Right, interesting.